sit back, because here we go. It's a feature time for the KKM Giveback Classic.
Boy, just like he did the other night, Dason Pursley's off and running. Got a 4-car length advantage down into turn number 3. Flood slides into second. Meanwhile, back behind, here comes a rip around a lip out of the number 28 car.
Shelby Hinton trying to get there in a quick way. Red flag will fly. You got one upside down. That's Chris Carroll in turn number 3. As we go green back out of turn number 4, Dason Pursley brings the field back to live.
Up front, rotating around tight to the tires. Out turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Will split out a little bit. Now Pursley goes to the top shelf, tested out. Miller occupies the real estate down low, and we got ourselves a drag race for the race lead.
Teammates go side by side for that race lead. Pursley staying around the top, now going to jump back down to the bottom as Frank Flood was closing the gap there on him. Flood in third, and as Gavin Miller rolls the bottom through 3 and 4, puts a lap car between he and Dason Pursley. Pursley closes the gap again through 1 and 2 as the caution flag will fly. You got one facing the wrong way. Back to green on the loud pedal goes Gavin Miller, going to work to the bottom. Dason Pursley going to try and rail the top here out of turn number 2. Does Frank Flood have anything for him into turn number 3?
There's that hop I was talking about out Dason Pursley. Stuff to keep him out ahead of Frank Flood is down to the inside, dodges Joe B. Miller in the 51B car. Back behind, TJ Smith trying to take that spot back away from McLaughlin.
Look out, contact. Frank Flood gets into the back bumper of Dason Pursley down there into turn number 2. And Pursley to a stop. We're getting back to green. Here comes Gavin Miller off the bottom of turn number 4.
The charge down into the corner again. Again works that low line. Frank Flood a little smoother on the high side for the number 95 car. Here comes Joby Miller down low for the number 51. He'll go side by side with Flood.
Flood working the high line. Joby Miller right around the bottom, trying to wheel him down the back straightaway. Flood going to manage to edge him out down into turn number 3, but Miller right back to the bottom.
Frank's starting to gather up some momentum now. He'll make a run on Gavin Miller. Maybe this next lap rounds, he'll diamond off the corner and grab gravity onto the back chute. Here comes down to the inside, a little slide job out across the track. Back to the inside goes the 71.
Miller crosses him back over, trying to run the bottom now through turns 1 and 2. Flood with that momentum down the back stretch into turn number 3. Miller will slide up in front of Flood, and Flood going to get crossed up and slammed by the 51B of Joby Miller. That's going to allow TJ Smith to come through, but problems for the 1V of Johnny Bolin.
Green flag set to flutter about Flood. Oh, that was a little hesitation when he dropped the nose. He didn't punch the throttle right away, and unfortunately Gavin Miller climbed his rear end, and that opens him up to attack for the number 2 spot.
Kel Dre tries to throw the slider through 1 and 2 there, not going to clear him. Gavin Miller back up on the pedal now.
Not sure what that's all about, but regardless, he's able to get out of the way for the field. There's a big move out of Gavin Miller, and here comes KJ Snow to capitalize.
Right there, Kel Drake going to move into the second spot, takes it away from Gavin Miller as they roll down the back straightaway. KJ Snow trying to reel them all in. As again, TJ Smith gets back around Cannon McIntosh. They're 3 wide for spot back here.
And we're losing a little bit of gription on the high side. They're having trouble getting down the back stretch as both of them will snap up on the cushion as I watched KJ Snow and Cannon McIntosh.
Down the back straightaway, here comes Miller on. Frank Flood going to take the spot. Flood going to cross him over. Miller back to the inside of him. It's going to be a barn burner here. 6 laps. Getting close. Oh, boy, hold on. Caution flag's actually going to be for Shelby Hinton. As we go back to green, Frank Flood brings the field back to life, timing it just right. But here comes Gavin Miller, right to the inside, the bomb through 1 and 2. Here comes Kel Drake, a 3-way battle for the race lead. Miller to the inside, slides Flood. Flood crosses him over. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong.
Down into the inside, another slide job down into the corner. Back to the inside for Frank Flood. Cale Drake's there. KJ Snow back behind the number 4 spot. Side by side for your race lead out of 4.
Some contact there. Kel Drake going to stay right around the tires. Going to try the slider. Forces it up. Forces the issue. Flood into the wall out of turn number 2.
There goes Gavin Miller down the inside. Snakes that spot away from him. Bauer goes on to the point. Little slip of the grip for Cale Drake. Gives up the race lead. Flood back to the point with a drive job out across the racetrack.
A 5-way battle for the race lead. Let's call it 6 cars, and Dason Pursley contact with the car will go around. Man, I don't need to see it anymore. Coming to green, Gavin Miller brings the field back to life, able to pull him down the front stretch. They all top 3 go to the top shelf. Kel Drake working to the inside now on Frank Flood and KJ Snow, both down now through 3 and 4. Down the front straightaway, Gavin Miller, your leader.
And last time Snow got bottled up on the back of Frank Flood. Flood's able to get out of the way from him, kind of transitioned that little contact that took place. Back into the P2 spot is back behind Snow. Look out, contact. He goes around on the front stretch, and he's over at the flag stand. got pried over with contact.
Tried to get straightened back up, but then contact. Cannon McIntosh nowhere to go. KJ Snow ends up upside down. Gavin Miller brings the field back to green.
Gavin punches the throttle on it. Frank Flood's tied to him down into turn number 1 and 2. Back down to the inside for Cale Drake. He is unrelenting on that low line run, and it also gets his nose up on Flood.
Yeah, Gavin Miller, a little jump there through the cushion, and that's going to make Flood get up on the binders there from keeping from hitting him. And does Cale Drake able to capitalize on it? Only 3 laps remain.
Yeah, twin sticks are coming out this time by. There's a little bobble out of the 71 car. Boy, they get tight on that cushion down at the apex of that corner. Here comes Flood out across. Another drive job up to the cushion. That gives breathing room to Miller.
Miller has a little bit of breathing room, and now Cale Drake to the inside of Frank Flood for second. Flood will fall to third. White flag is out for the final time. They work down into turn number 3. Out of turn number 4, Gavin Miller will be victorious at the KKM Giveback Classic.
Second's going to go to Cale Drake. Frank Flood will round out the top 3.